Assignment number 1, exploring the link between alcohol and violence. The purpose of this study is to confirm the theory that alcohol consumption causes people to be more aggressive. This study will gather qualitative data through non-participant field research and quantitative data through an experiment and also a survey. Every attempt will be made to interpret the indicators of aggressive behavior and reveal the results that do not have a spurious relationship to each other. The results of the study will also be probabilistic due to the many factors that influence violent behavior, such as your upbringing or what area of the city you live in. First, we'll discuss the experiment that we are going to conduct. An ad will be put out in the newspaper and on the internet, billboards and posters. The reason for putting it out in all the different media sources are that if we just put it out on the internet, we will only be able to reach people who use the internet, and that would not give us a representative sample of the population. The ad will also specify that people do have to be over the age of 21, and they would also have to consume enough alcohol in the study to be considered legally intoxicated. After we get the applicants, we're going to narrow them down to 25 women and 25 men, and out of those 25 in each group, we will attempt to have the most representative sample of the general population. This test will be conducted over a matter of 3 days, and to measure whether or not the alcohol makes a person aggressive or not, they're going to end up taking the same test 4 different times. They're going to take it once while sober, once while intoxicated on beer, once while intoxicated on wine, and once while intoxicated on liquor. The way that we will test them is it will be through multiple videos that simulate real situations in life, such as you're driving down the road and a driver cuts you off. What are you going to do? Honk at them? Avoid the car by pulling in the next lane and backing off from them? Or are you going to pull up beside them and yell and cuss and give them the finger? Also, there might be questions such as you're walking out of a restaurant with a drink. You run into somebody and you spill the drink all over yourself. Are you going to tell the person that, it's all right and then continue on with your day? Just ignore the person, keep on walking? Or are you going to yell at the person and potentially become violent with that person, such as pushing them? The subjects, when they are taking the test, when they have been drinking, will have to be at least legally drunk, which we are going to consider 0.08 blood alcohol content. Also, while they're taking the test, we are going to videotape them, because maybe their answers will not really indicate their aggressiveness when they're intoxicated or sober, but their body language will. The results of the test when they're sober is going to be our control group. And then we also have the different types of alcohol. The reason for this is not only will we be able to see if being intoxicated makes you more aggressive, but we'll also be able to see if the type of alcohol consumed causes a difference in your aggressiveness level. You always hear people talk about, I can't drink tequila. When I drink that, X happens, and they infer that when they drink tequila, more bad things happen. The second study we're going to conduct is going to be a survey. The sample for the survey will come from different domestic abuse shelters, rape crisis centers, and different counseling services. All of the subjects that complete this survey will have to have been a victim of some sort of violent crime, a rape, an assault, something like that. The survey is going to have questions at the beginning that ask about the demographics of the victim: sex, age, race, how much money they make a year, different types of statistics like that. And then also, if they know it, the demographics of the perpetrator, their sex, age, all those other factors. It's also going to ask, what was the relationship to the victim? Then the survey is going to proceed to ask various questions about the crime, such as what time of day did the crime occur? Where did the crime occur? Was the person drunk when they committed the crime? It's also going to ask questions about the person who perpetrated the crime against them. It's going to ask about their history with alcohol. Did they usually drink that much? do they have an alcohol problem? Have they ever been convicted for any other violent crimes, any other crimes relating to alcohol? Then we're going to take the same survey, but essentially flip-flop it, and we're going to give it to different prison inmates that have committed violent crimes. And they're going to ask the inmates the same thing, the demographics about themselves and then their victim, and then it's also going to ask them the same thing about the crime. The answers given by the inmates will be able to be confirmed by going back and looking at their criminal record. We won't be able to do that with the other people because there's the client counselor relationship, and we won't be able to have access to the records of their counseling sessions. Our field research is going to be conducted by riding along with police officers. We're going to find 2 police stations throughout the country. The first one is going to report the highest amount of arrests due to violent crimes. The second police station will report the highest amount of arrests due to crimes relating to alcohol, such as drunk in public, underage drinking. We will ride along with the police officers, but we will be dressed as a police officer, but we really won't get involved with the victims. The reason to do this is because we don't want the Hawthorne effect to happen, and the people see that they're getting studied or videotaped in some form and act out to show their toughness against authority. Each ride along is going to last for a duration of 3 months, and we'll be able to evaluate how many people that are arrested for violent crimes are intoxicated. And then at the other station, we'll be able to see if being drunk makes you more aggressive. The key to this field research is to also observe the people that are not getting arrested for violent crimes and the people that aren't drunk and see if they are more or less prone to be violent. We will, at the end of all these 3 studies, we will take each separate test results and we will evaluate them. Then we will have to look at the test as a whole and see if the results are generally similar throughout all 3 studies. Since we are narrowing in on the different groups, specific groups of violent behavior and being drunk in the survey and field research, those type of statistics might not be able to easily be generalized to the entire population, whereas for the experiment, since we will be trying to get a representative sample of the population, that will be our most likely test that we are able to generalize to the entire population.